Obama agrees to 4 years extension for International Space Station. Washington, Reuters. The Obama administration wants to keep the International Space Station, a $100 billion orbital research outpost that is project of 15 nations, flying until at least 2024, 4 years beyond a previous target. NASA said on Wednesday. The extension will give the U.S. Space Agency more time to develop the technologies needed for eventual human mission to Mars. Keeping the space station in orbit beyond 2020 also opens a window for commercial companies and researchers to benefit from heavy U.S. investments into the outpost. NASA's cost for operating the station, which flies about 250 miles above Earth, run about $3 billion a year. About half that sum is spent on transporting crew and cargo. 10 years from today is a pretty far-reaching, pretty strategic-looking vision, NASA Associate Administrator Bill Gerstenmaier told reporters on a conference call. This extension opens up a large avenue of research on board station. It also changes the perspective for the commercial providers. Now they can see a market that extends to at least 2024, he said. In addition to commercial U.S. cargo ships and planned passenger space taxis, companies and researchers organizations are beginning to make use of the station's unique microgravity environment to develop a range of new products and technologies, including medication and off-the-shelf shoebox-sized satellites. Constructions of the orbital outpost began in 1998. The prime partners in the venture with the United States, including Russia, Europe, Japan, and Canada. It has been permanently staffed by rotating crews of astronauts and cosmonauts since year 2000. Extending the station is not a U.S.-only decision. Gerstenmaier said, "We take to our partners about this. They want to go forward with this. It's just working through the government's approval," he said. "We are prepared to do what we have to do if the partners chose to take a different path," Gerstenmaier added. A technical review by Prime Station contractor Boeing shows the station's laboratories, structural frame, and other hardware are safe to fly until 2028. Program Manager John Shannon said earlier on Wednesday at the opening of an International Space Exploration and Policy Summit. If the physical hardware continues to operate the way we believe it does, that leaves the door open in the future to extend, Gerstenmaier said. At the end of its life, the station will be straight down into the atmosphere, where it will incinerate. Re-enter will take place over an ocean, so any surviving deep reeds will not threaten populated areas. The first of up to 6 U.S. supply runs to the station this year was slated for launch on Wednesday, but the flight was cancelled due to extremely high levels of radiation caused by a huge solar flare. Orbital Science Corps, one of two firms hired by NASA to ferry cargo to the station following the retirement of the Space Shuttle in 2011, may try to launch its Antares rocket and Cygnus cargo ship on Thursday. The rocket files from the commercial spaceport on Wallops Island, Virginia. We are concerned about mission failure, Orbital Science Chief Technological Officer Antonio Ellis told reporters. Radiation from the solar flare could potentially interfere with rockets' awareness and other critical systems. Privately-owned Space Exploration Technologies, or SpaceX, which also holds a NASA contract to fly cargo to the station, is preparing for its third supply run on February 20. Our newest weapon against climate change, little mushrooms. New technologies like solar panels are likely our best bet if we hope to reduce greenhouse gas like carbon dioxide. But future generations may have just gained an uniquely, totally organic ally in the fight against climate change. Fungi. A new study published in Nature found that common ectomacries EEM fungi, which can produce edible mushrooms, may help dramatically reduce the amount of carbon releasing into the atmosphere by decaying matters. Researchers from the University of Texas, Boston University, and the Smithsonian Tropical Research Institute discovered that EM fungi help lock carbon into the soil. Plants sequester carbon dioxide, but when they die, that carbon enters the soil, and not of it. Globally, soil is the biggest single terrestrial reservoir of carbon, far more than the amount of carbon contained in living things and in the atmosphere combined. As the dead plant matter is broken down by microbes in the soil, that carbon is released back into the air. The rate at which that carbon leaves the soil can obviously have a major impact on the amount of carbon in the atmosphere, which in return helps drive climate change. That's where mycorrhizal fungi come in. The microcrops that break down plants matter need nitrogen found in the soil to function. EEM fungi, which typically attach themselves to the roots of the plants, compete with these micro genes for nitrogen and steal it away. At the same time, the fungi also converts nitrogen into the nutrients for living plants they have attached to themselves. EM fungi essentially protect plants, slowing the process of carbon decay and release considerably and released considerably. In fact, soil samples collected by researchers show that the fungi were able to alter how much carbon was released into the air by staggering 70%. That's a significant figure, and one that could theoretically move the needle in existing climate change model. Not that for something we tend to think as a pizza topping. View this article on theweek.com. Get 4 free issues of the week. More than the week. More fun. Personal drones launch in your skies. Some of the flying objects being shown at this week's Consumer Electronics Show in Las Vegas include items that are for play, personal photography, and other uses which could lead to a market for products. The notion of personal drones follows widespread use by the U.S. military and growing reliance by law enforcement on such aerial technology. Retail giant Amazon, meanwhile, has hatched a plan to create delivery drones, and French-based technology firm Parrot unveiled its mini drones toy, which can be controlled from a smartphone. We can civilian drones, and now we have toy drones. Parrot Nicholas told AFP, describing the Parrot drones as a device designed for teenagers to enjoy a challenge of using a tablet to direct the device. It has plastic propellers. They are not dangerous. With 4 propellers, it can balance itself automatically. For more serious uses, Chinese-based maker DJI unveiled its line of flying devices which look a lot like drones. We prefer the term aerially system, DJI's Gabriel Chen told AFP. Designed for aerial photography, the self-balanced flying device can access hard-to-reach areas and produce beautiful cinematography, Chen said. DJI's Michael Pre said the group has established a platform for any users to create amazing video from the sky. Well, most of the usage so far has been for personal photography and professional cinematographers. Perry said DJI devices were also used for search and rescue operations in Philippines after Typhoon Haiyan. Perry said that in the United States, people can use the device to fly at altitude up to 400 feet, but that the Federal Aviation Administration is examining rules governing drones at higher altitudes. The company offered a test flight of its Phantom II Vision, which it called the world's first consumer quadcopter with a built-in high-performance camera. The device can fly 25 minutes and send images and locate back to a smartphone, which directs navigation. It also is programmed to return home if the user loses the location. DJI says the device can relocate photograph by getting to place normally inaccessible, like the middle of the Grand Canyon or close to spot events. But there could be other uses, such as for disaster relief.